Thank you very much for coming today as we dedicate this memorial to 18 officers who were killed in the line of duty protecting the citizens of Butte-Silver Bow. Before we dedicate the memorial, we have a number of people to thank for making this memorial and this event possible. Without their contributions of time and talent, this event would never have happened, and this memorial would never have existed. First of all, I'd like to thank Bernie Boyle of Butte Granite. Bernie donated the stone and all the labor for this beautiful memorial that we're about to dedicate. Bernie, can you come up for an award? The Butte Police Protective Association would like to thank and recognize Butte Granite Works for your donation helping get our Officer Down Memorial completed. With your help and the generosity, we can now properly honor those who have paid the ultimate sacrifice in the line of duty for Butte-Silver Bow. Thank you, Bernie. We'd also like to thank Jay Fortune of Fortune Construction for his work on the carpentry portion of the award and the cement. Jay here? You weren't going to be able to hide that long, Jay. The Butte Police Protective Association would like to recognize and thank Jay Fortune Construction for your donation in helping get our Officer Down Memorial completed. With your help and generosity, we can now properly honor those who have paid the ultimate sacrifice in the line of duty for Butte-Silver Bow. Thank you, Jay. We'd also like to thank Pioneer Concrete, Rod and Diane Farrell, for their donation to the concrete to this memorial. Are Rod and Diane here? Thanks again to Rod and Diane, and we'll get the award to them. We'd also like to thank Colt and Luke Anderson of Up Top Clothing for their generous donation of t-shirts for fundraising for the award. Colt and Luke here. The Butte Police Protective Association would like to thank you both, Up Top, for your donation in helping get our Officer Down Memorial completed. With your help and generosity, we can now properly honor those who have paid the ultimate sacrifice in the line of duty for Butte-Silver Bow. Thanks, guys. We have a few other people to thank as well. We'd like to thank Mr. Larry McCaffrey for a generous donation for the care and upkeep of the memorial as we progress through the years. I'd also like to thank NATO Concrete for their work in finishing the concrete. Again, this was all donated. I'd like to thank the Butte Police Protective Association for their flags and the poles and all their work that they have coordinated over the past 2 years on this memorial. Also, thank you to Boy Scout Troop 4615 for helping to install the flag poles. For Caitlin O'Brien for designing the invitations to this event. I'd like to thank Undersheriff George Skuletich. George organized a golf tournament fundraiser as well as being the spearhead behind this award for the past 2 years. Thank you to Connie and Greg Edlin for the lighting they've provided to light the flags at night. Thank you to Mr. Dan Hollis, former Butte Lieutenant, for his research and information on the fallen officers. I'd like to thank Senator John Tester for his donation of the United States flag, and Governor and presidential candidate Steve Bullock for the Montana state flag. Thank you again to all those who've made this memorial possible, and hopefully I didn't miss anybody. In addition, I'd like to thank the Butte Fire Department, A1 Ambulance, Butte Parole and Probation, and the Montana Highway Patrol for serving this community alongside the men and women of Butte-Silver Bow law enforcement. And when you think of law enforcement here in Butte-Silver Bow, please don't forget the men and women of our department who serve as 911 communications officers and those who serve as detention officers. These folks do not get the recognition they deserve because they're not in public very often, but without them we couldn't succeed. As Butte-Silver Bow Sheriff, I'd also like to thank our clerical staff who keeps the paperwork together when we have events that, quite frankly, they shouldn't have to see either. So thank you very much to the ladies in the clerical staff. As Butte-Silver Bow Sheriff, this is one of the highlights of my career. To have an opportunity to stand here today as we reach back over 100 years to honor the 18 officers whose names appear on this stone. I'm proud to stand here and dedicate this memorial today because I know that this memorial will be here next to our law enforcement center for generations to come and long after all of us are gone. This memorial will not only honor those fallen officers, but it will serve as a reminder to all those who pass that it truly takes a special person to serve in law enforcement. It will serve as a reminder to all the officers who use this building that the career they have chosen is not only one of the noblest professions, but it is also perilous and sometimes unforgiving, and danger is never far away. It's a job where the most mundane and routine encounter can become terrifying and deadly without any warning. I obviously never knew any of the people who are carved here on the stone. But I think it's safe to assume that every single one of them left their home and went to work here in Butte-Silver Bow with every expectation that they would be returning to home at the end of their tour. Yet none of them ever returned home to their loved ones again. They passed into the history of this great community and into an honored place among those who swore to place themselves between citizens and the evil that would do them harm. They took an oath and died doing what they were sworn to do. As Butte-Silver Bow Sheriff, I will risk speaking for each of the current and former officers that are gathered here today. Each of these officers on this stone wore a badge like the ones we're wearing right now. This badge says Butte-Silver Bow, and we're proud because this badge and all the ones like it that are on the chests of the men and women standing before you, it means something. This badge means that the hundreds of men and women who've chosen to wear this badge over the last century or more stand in support of our community and in support of the 18 officers who can now rest easy knowing that they have not been forgotten. They can rest easy knowing that the citizens they died to protect are in good hands because of the men and women who are here today and wear that same badge. And also because of the men and women who will continue to wear this badge for generations to come. This badge means a lot to me. And I'm so thankful that over the years, 30 years, I've had an opportunity to work in a city and for a police department with a rich history like the one we have here in Butte-Silver Bow. Most of all, this badge means to me that I've been given an opportunity to work with some of the finest police officers in the world, like the ones we memorialize here today, and the ones who've worn this badge throughout the years. I would ask that each of us take a time for a moment of silence, and in our silence, please say a prayer for the protection of all law enforcement officers, for the 118 officers killed in the line of duty in the United States last year, and for the 43 officers who've already been killed in the line of duty this year. And finally, I would ask that each of you offer a solemn prayer that no more names are ever added to this stone. A moment of silence, please. Thank you.